Oh my God. I didn't even tilt.
Nope.
I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Okay, back down with South Park. This is turning out to be quite a long series. I'm still waiting for parts. I am going to kind of put the topside toilet stuff back together again, a couple screws and a nut, and put this plastic in the ramp and put all these posts on and get all that going. I'll be able to put this back on. Remember I said I lost a Lexan washer? Well, I started putting the screws back. This guy here, I had to remove this post just to make life easier, and the other side's not going to be any easier. But I found it, the Lexan washer. Can you spot it? Do you see where it is? Here's a hint. Poo. Because this is Mr. Hanky, right? Look. Ah. So glad I didn't have to kind of find that the hard way. I still think there may be a spacer from the display somewhere, maybe hiding around in here, maybe another part or two that it'll turn up sooner or later. So I did hear in terms of, oh yeah, that's the other thing I'm gonna do, try and fix Mr. Hanky. Not going down very well, and he's just not latching. And someone said you can go into settings and adjust that. Well, technically you can. You can change all the solenoids to pulse hard, medium, or soft. I don't want to, I could go up it to hard, but that would be every solenoid, and that would just be more wear and tear. So I thought it might have been a specific, somehow you could adjust that particular solenoid, but in hindsight, that's technology hasn't really been around until recently where you can adjust individual solenoids. So I think I'm going to cut that spring in the Hanky mech and see. That's, someone said that has helped. Someone said that they replaced the spring with a new one and it didn't help. So they cut it and adjusted it and it did help. Someone else said they replaced the spring and it worked like a charm. So I guess I'm going to start with cutting the spring, because I don't have a replacement spring on me. Oh, also another thing, I kind of lined up these cabinet decals. I cut out this one to cut all the white off of it so I could line it up to the wear spot. That's the wrong side, but I do not like how it's going to cover. It's really not going to cover very well. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can give you an idea. It's going to be like positioned right about there. So there's still quite a gap up top. I'm not going to use these, I don't think. Probably going to get, oh, someone on Pinside. Oh, crap. I was just looking at their name. I can't remember. I was going to give them a shout out. You know, talking about their South Park and how they got the semicircle. Kind of, I think they're metal. And you screw them on. And it looks, and he showed me a photo of his, and it looks so much better than this. They're like going to cost about $35 plus shipping, but I think that's what I want to do probably instead of that. So I'm going to have to order those probably. Maybe a Mr. Hanky spring. Still waiting on my other plastic, but getting close. I think Henry said he's got me some custom apron cards too, so hope to bump into him sooner or later. And yeah, so I am going to start reassembling crap and deal with Mr. Hanky and see what happens. So stay tuned. Alright, the table is looking pretty empty. Things are starting to come together. Finally got this ramp installed. And there you can see the nice green posts with the white rubbers. I think it's a nice subtle touch. Looks better than that dirty clear ones. Now I looked on Pinside briefly to see who is the one who invented that cute little mod. And it wasn't quite clear who did it first, so I don't really know who to shout out. But there's a few different people that are contenders for this mod. And then, so I was actually trying to install my flasher dome and find out the correct position so that when I raise and lower the playfield, that the plastic itself wasn't touching the side of the cabinet, because it's tight. You can't have any overhang here, so I've been moving it here, moving it there, moving it here, moving it there, and then click. Like, uh-oh, something bad just happened. Not that bad, but I broke the rivet. Rivet popped off. So what I'm going to do is just try and drill it out and then use a little screw and nut instead. So I'm working on that right now. But that's looking good. Plastic is installed, LEDs are installed, my Lexan washers. Added a couple metal washers underneath these two posts just to kind of raise up this plastic a little bit from getting smashed. But then when I installed my LEDs, well, this LED especially, it kind of does force that plastic down a bit. So might have been pointless to put metal washers here, but they're there. And yeah, so Stan is installed. Yeah, I got that right this time. And yeah, so I'm gonna fix my flasher that I broke, and then see if I can fix Mr. Hanky and maybe rebuild the flippers. Oh, I almost forgot, it was Jay Caruth on Pinside that was showing me what these look like on his machine compared to the vinyl decals. Isn't that way better? Oh, and look, it goes around the flipper. No, it looks like you do have to remove the flipper button and then snugs on over top, and then you just add 3 screws, boom, and it'll prevent further future wear as well. So I think that looks pretty darn sharp. I've seen these before. I don't think I've ever installed any, but I am probably going to pull the trigger on one of those. And oh, look, successfully drilled out the rivet. Now I just need to find a screw and a nut. Alright, so there's my Mr. Hanky spring. I think that's it. Where is it? Number 20. Where'd it go? 26, 23, number 23. Plunger spring 2665063-01. So that's 23. Where's 23 on this list? It shows you that much. That would be the compressed version. So check this out. Plugged in the part number. Found a couple places in Australia that have it. But I also seen that Ray at Action Pinball, I don't know why the website's not displaying very well, he has 2 available, $4.19 each. So I just sent him a message. Currently only shipping to US and Canada. Oh, okay. So we'll see how much it costs to ship that. But yeah, this is where I got my South Park Target decals as well. So I'll see what Ray says. Hopefully it's not $20 to ship a $4 part, but that is often the case. So I'm just going to order a new spring because I really have to take the whole mech apart in order to access it. For some reason I thought maybe I could get away with cutting the spring without taking it apart, but it doesn't look very possible. So I think I'm just going to wait until I get that spring and then take it apart again and then install the spring, see if that works. If not, I'll manipulate the old spring, cut it. I'll do whatever I got to do to try and get it to work. So in the meanwhile, I guess I'm going to move on to flipper rebuild. Well, I figured it's time to clean out my coin box and cabinet, give it one more final vacuum. Well, I'll probably vacuum it one more time after a flipper rebuild, but right in the little corner there, look what I found. Well, that wouldn't be a Mr. Hanky spring, but I think that is probably the toilet lid spring. It's definitely almost has no tension to it at all. It is like nothing. This is more tensiony. than this, but as long as it doesn't pose any problem, it's just to close the lid, and it does that just fine. So if that poses a problem, then I will change this while I'm in there. I'll label and bag this, throw it in the coin box. But looks like I found the old toilet lid spring. Okay, so I'm starting to do my flipper rebuild, and notice that, I think I've noticed this before, but they did replace the coil. 090502030 0905030OT. So it's not quite the same. It's the other side. This says 502030. It says 503. What? That's nowhere near. Okay, I'm gonna have to check what's supposed to be in there, because maybe that's not the correct coil. I imagine 5030 is probably correct and 5020 is not, because that's replaced. The other one's probably original. But the flipper mech, like the pawl and plunger, this is all new. Look at this style here compared to the old style. See the little extra tab there? Well, that's built in here. So these parts are also newer. So I think I might reuse those parts and maybe replace these parts. I'm not sure yet, but I found a part screw in the bottom of the cabinet, and now I just finally discovered where that was supposed to go. See right there? That is one of the 3 screws that is supposed to be holding the bushing. So it's severed off. I don't know why. Maybe the other part of the screw. Oh, I bet you the other part of the screw is inside the bracket, and that's why they never replaced it. They busted off in there. So who knows? Maybe I'll remove the entire bracket to get the screw, possible piece of screw out of the hole, and kind of start from scratch on this guy. But those parts are good. I don't know if they changed the bushing or not, but I'm gonna take it apart and investigate a little further. Hey, let's look together. I haven't checked yet, so let's see what we got here. Left flipper, right flipper. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? 23-1100. High current solenoids. 23-1100. How does that not make any friggin' sense? Oh, wait. Right below. Yeah, they're supposed to be both 5030s. So I'm going to remove the left solenoid now and find the correct one. I may have one in stock. So I'll go hunting and I'll be right back. Okay, just for fun, let's have a look here. On a coil resistance chart, you can type in coil resist. If you can say it, then that would be even better. Coil resistance chart pinball. Type that into Google and you will find your coils. Stern 5030 says it is 23, where are we? 23 gauge wire, 1100 windings. That's why it was 23-1100 on the page there. So flipper coil orange. And then the 5020-30 is 23 gauge 900 windings. So we had a difference of 200 windings. That's the only difference, but I think less windings means greater strength. So I almost wonder if I were to switch to the 30, that it might have a hard time getting up that right ramp. Maybe that's why they switched the strength. I almost never put in stronger coils than factory. But I don't want to go through changing the coil to a lesser strength just to find out that it can't make that right ramp. But in theory, also rebuilding the flipper might make it a little stronger, but those parts are fairly new. So the one thing that I don't like about the left side is that it doesn't have much play going up and down. Like, there's really almost nothing. And when we were playing one night in that tournament, one of the flippers was kind of getting a little sticky. I can't remember if it was left or right. So I need to give this a little bit of play up and down because there's almost none. And maybe that alone will add a little strength to the flipper. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so I may leave this in here. That's my conclusion for now. So if I find it to be a problem for any reason, then I may change it, but I don't want to change it just to find out I have to change it back, which is just 2 solders, so it's not a big deal, but you do got to take it all apart and put it back together again. And you know the motto, if it is working, don't fix it or else you'll break it. Alright, I decided to just say screw it and go ahead with the flipper rebuild kit. Makes my life a lot easier because I started, you know, filing down the plunger, so that's all cleaned up and good. I took out the coil stop, filed that all down. It's nice. Then just before I installed it, I'm like, I better check the other coil stop. I gotta make sure everything's symmetrical. And do you see the difference? The holes are bigger. This is actually a data east coil stop, I believe. This is a stern. And then when you put them together, you will find that there is a little bit of a gap there, which means different lengths will make for asymmetry. I can't have that. So I already installed the one without tightening the flipper bat, busting out my spacers so that there's actually some play. I'll show you how I deal with that. And then I just had to go hunting for 2 lock washers because both of those were missing. And I had to find one of these too because one of those was missing. So at least 3 parts were missing and at least 1 incorrect coil stop and mismatched plunger and link assemblies. So I said, screw it. We're going with the full kit. So that guy is all done, cleaned up. I put the screw in the bushing, so it's all happy now. Found one of those. And new spring, new coil obviously, maybe the wrong one, but it should work. New plunger, new link, new crank, new sleeve, new coil stop, and all the correct hardware. So I didn't replace the rubber stop because it's fine. So moving on to the next one, and then we'll tighten the flippers and align them. Just a little side note here. How well do you think that bolt is doing? Going from here to here? It's been tightened a couple of times. It's been cranked so tight that the bolt is actually bent. So that's just another reason that I'm happy I'm changing out everything, because that will not tighten another time or 2 without probably breaking. Alright, that's much better. Lots of new shiny parts on both sides. So now my least favorite part is tightening and aligning the flippers. So let's do that next. Alright, here's my strategy for spacing up the flippers. I got my little spacer here. I guess I'll show you. Like so. Spacer fork, you stick it in. Like so. Did I break it? No? Okay. Make sure you got your play. Alright, push it down, tape it up. So that way when you raise the play field, they don't fall out on you, okay? Get them semi-lined up, starting to tighten. Man, those white flipper rubbers are hard to keep clean. I've already cleaned them a couple times and I just keep dirtying them up, but we'll do it at the end. That would make more sense. So now I just got to keep tightening and aligning, tightening, aligning right to the little holes, of course. And that should be perfectly symmetrical and snappy when all done. Alright, I cranked on these suckers. Actually, I think I got an indent in my palm. A little red there. And I think they are good to go from a resting position. They look pretty darn symmetrical. I ran a ball down them. Seem nice and smooth. I'll show you. Try and hope for minimal ball hop, right? Well, I'll just drop it down this wire form. That's pretty smooth. Down there. Pretty smooth. And so yeah, resting position. Pretty darn looking good. And yeah, look at that. I am thrilled with that. I really just hope that they don't move on me and that I tightened them just enough. And then look, got our little up and down play. Just enough, that 1/16. I think that's what it is. Yeah, looks like 1/16. So I think our flipper rebuild is done. We're plugging away. I just need a hanky spring and a plastic and some cosmetic stuff. I'm gonna maybe clean up. Actually, I think I'm gonna paint the coin door, touch that up with my glossy black, and take a magic eraser maybe to the front wood there and kind of clean that up a little bit. I'm getting to the point where I focus on some of the exterior cosmetics a little bit. Yeah, you know, like maybe replacing these inserts there that are missing. So yeah, all right. Well, Jay the neighbor showed up just in time after the flippers are rebuilt, so we're giving him a test. So not only are we able to check out the freshly new flippers, I've never played a game with the color display installed yet. So here, why don't you hold that? Make sure you get the flippers in the display. I was actually on a pretty good run there. It's kind of... Actually, it saved my progress on Stan for Spooky Vision, I guess. I don't know, we're gonna see if we can get the Spooky Vision. I need Kenny, and then I need Kyle. I don't need any more. Okay, here we go. Let's kill Kenny. I still haven't got multi-ball yet, but whoa. There we go. In color, sort of blue.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's cool.
It killed Kenny. You bastard!
All right. No, give it back to me. 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 Yes. Give it back to me. Give it back to me. Oh, I do have one more ball. Is that it?
One more ball.
Okay. All right. So I just need
Ready,
right ramp, Kyle, and you know, I guess playing all rounds gets you to Spooky Vision, and beating them all gets you to Volcano mode. Oh, cool. Loving these animations. They're friggin' awesome. So I think I just need basically literally 3 right ramp shots. Time out the mode. Oh, nice. And then maybe I will be lighting Spooky Vision.
oh my God! It killed Kenny.
But the flippers are behaving very nice. Not slipping on me. Actually, they're shooting pretty well. I've caught air a couple times. Uh-oh. One more for multi... Ah, ball save. That's pretty friendly. Like, if you hit dangerous stuff, it'll often light the ball save there for a couple seconds. See, it looks like out of Cartman, it lights it for a couple seconds. Just need... Hey, there's Mr. Hanky. Not going down, of course. He's trying, but he ain't gonna go down. He'll give up after a minute. The color is awesome. I love the football field. Hazardous. Great job, man. I love it. Go Cows. Oh, no. Chef mode. Gotta hit all the lit shots. Looks like you just got the 3 right? Most shots left to go. 30 seconds still. Need more time. No more mutants. That's like a mode in X-Men where you can just get like so much time. It will last like 5 minutes if you don't die. Alright, 3 shots to the right ramp I think will get me there.
Don't kick the baby.
Okay, a little later, a little later. Go. Oh my God. I didn't even tilt.
Nope. You tried.
Son of a. Okay, well that'll have to be for an official gameplay video when I have my horizontal camera going, but... Any match? Hey, look at that!
Yay!
Okay, just a little side note and wrap up here. A couple hours has passed. I met with Jim Wilkes today, fellow shenanigander. I'd met him once before, but it's good to catch up with him and chat for a bit. And look, he came bearing gifts. I saw him walk in with this. I didn't really realize what it was at the time, but he's watched me repair some wires here and there, and knew occasionally I didn't have the right color in stock. So look at this. He gave me these wires here, a couple different gauges, solenoids, switches. It's got every friggin' color in the rainbow, and a good few feet of each. That will probably keep me good for many years to come. So thank you, Jim, for that. Much appreciated. It was very thoughtful. And look, clear shrink tube. Then you can see the handiwork that is behind, and then you know whether it's a good job or not. And that would be nice. You know, when you see electrical tape, you never know what's behind there. But if it's shrunk tubed clear, then you know what the heck's going on. So thanks again, Jim. Much appreciated. Jay and I threw on the glass on South Park, played a couple more games, and got to tell you, it's playing great and looking great. A little bit more to do on it, of course, but I did hear back from Ray at Action Pinball, and sure enough, I was right. The shipping is like 20 US, well, 1850, because it can't go in an envelope, it has to go in a box. So if I want to order the Mr. Hanky Spring, it's going to cost me like 35 Canadian. I probably will do it. I'm just not sure. Maybe I'll go shopping at Action Pinball, see if I can add to the pile and make it worthwhile on the shipping cost. And yeah, so South Park was playing great. There will be a little bit more. I'll do official gameplay at some point too, but that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.